Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Um, Ravi, why don't we start with reading the My Wish and then we continue from there.
Okay. Avtar
Jai
Meher
Baba.
Baba ki jai. The lover has to keep the wish of the beloved. My wish for my lovers is as follows. Do not shirk your responsibilities. Attend faithfully to your worldly duties, but keep always at the back of your mind that all this is Baba's. When you feel happy, think Baba wants me to be happy. When you suffer, think Baba wants me to suffer. Be resigned to every situation and think honestly and sincerely, Baba has placed me in this situation. With the understanding that Baba is in everyone, try to help and serve others. I say with my divine authority to each and all that whosoever takes my name at the time of breathing his last comes to me. So do not forget to remember me in your last moments. Unless you start remembering me from now on, it will be difficult to remember me when your end approaches. You should start practicing from now on. Even if you take my name only once, every day, you will not forget to remember me in your dying moments. Avtar Meher Baba ki Jai. I just want to tell you something. It so
Sure.
happened last week, I happened to have a talk and discussion about my wish to a group of people. It went so well. A couple of people gave me examples of the troubles they were having. And it fitted so well, these things, just want to convey that to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 Ravi, then it is interesting. And this number three is very. I just want to read it again. Uh, when you feel happy, think Baba wants me to be happy. When you suffer, think Baba wants me to suffer. This is really, I mean,
Yeah.
it,
See, somebody calls me and have a party, and I had a couple of drinks and great food, and then dance and all, and came home. And then what do I think usually? Oh, that's my right. I had a great time. It was good. Nice friends, right? Never else give any chance for, the Baba who helped me to be in that situation. Never. Or we don't think we are happy because Baba wants me to be happy.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, Baba.
Okay.
Yeah, given that
And
we are all
also, when
recounting
we
incidents, yeah, go ahead.
see, a couple of people told me examples, but you do not know those people. But one person is having had from the age of 23 to 60 had lot of suffering from her husband, and and she has been saying, "Why me?" And then she said that her parents happened to go to Bhadrachalam and then met with a astrologer. And the astrologers told them, it seems, this girl's astrology is such that she is going to be suffering. And then she took it as the why me? Why me? Why should I suffer? I have a bad astrological stars. That's why I've been suffering, 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 But when we talked about this, it's like Baba helping her to get complete clarity. If she were to know these points, if she were to love Baba when she was young and applied this, see, this is just words, right? All these words, they're just words. It's easy to understand and words. But to really imbibe these concepts into our system, You really need to go through suffering and happy moments. Then only, and you have to apply it too. Then only you will be able to grasp the what Baba is trying to tell us. When we are happy, we have to remember, Jai Baba, thank you, Baba. But you want me to be happy. When we are suffering, especially when we are suffering, there's a big difference if we don't bring in Baba wants me to suffer versus, I am suffering. I plays a major role and puts you so much of grief when I comes in. When you replace I with Baba, Baba wants me to suffer. See, it makes a big difference, right? The same thing, be resigned to every situation and think honestly, sincerely. Baba has placed me in this situation. We never think when we are having a party, when we are something good is happening, we never think Baba has placed me in this situation. Only when we are suffering, we call for Baba. You
Yeah.
never know what's our karma, right? You never know what's our karma. And we have to accept it. Baba wants me to suffer. So that's my 2 cents of what, yeah.
I will add 2 cents more, given that everybody is in this melancholic sharing mood. I just wanted to say what you said in the end, Ravi, which is it's easier and more natural for us to bring Baba in whenever we suffer, because we think, oh, why is this happening? And then we draw Baba, and then we draw solace from that fact, and we draw Baba into that experience more easily. But
Mm,
doing so when, like you said, at the end of a party, at the beginning of a party, or anything that makes you happy is
mm,
more difficult and more rare, right? So
mm,
that's what we
mm,
need to practice and imbibe more often. And I just wanted to
mm,
say that I have tried hard in the last week to uh, go back to what I was doing very well before, which is trying to put the provisional working ego in practical situations, like getting Baba
mm,
into meetings, getting Baba into
mm,
a room full of people where I'm doing something and saying, okay, Baba, let's go, let's do this together. This is, and I used to do this before, and somehow, sorry, Baba, it just kind of slipped. So I
mm,
started back on it, and slow progress, but I'm very happy to say that yes, it never fails. Baba is with you. I think I would urge all of you as well to try to do that wherever possible, or everywhere if possible. Right. So with that, let's get back to our reading. So we are going through the planes. Yesterday we were talking about the planes, Cyril, and 5 and 6 and 7, and so we are actually reading Baba's words on the planes. We are in chapter 5. And those of you following on the physical book, we are on page 49. We finished the sixth plane, and now we will continue, right? So we'll keep going back and forth between the supplement and the book, and try to make progress, I think, on the planes. Any comments before I start? Okay, so let me get started. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. The fifth plane of the mental world is the state of full consciousness of thought. Hence, only mastery over the control and creation of thoughts is established, whereas no mastery nor control over feelings or emotions and desires is established. So, this is the fifth plane. The sixth plane of the mental world is the state of full consciousness of feeling, and thus mastery over the control and creation of feelings is established, and no more scope is left for even a single thought to penetrate into the domain of feelings. The sixth plane consciousness is thoughtless and governs the feelings of the gross and subtle conscious souls. This is often interpreted as mastery over the hearts of all gross and subtle conscious souls. A soul with sixth plane consciousness does not govern or regulate the so-called heart, but controls and governs that state of mind in the mental plane which emanates feelings of emotion, and desires. The state of mind is big M mind, which is universal mind. So what he does, I will repeat the last line in brackets. A soul with sixth plane consciousness does not govern or regulate the so-called heart, but controls and governs that state of mind in the mental plane which emanates feelings of emotion and desires. So that's what he controls. The loving of God and the longing for his union is really and fully demonstrated in the sixth plane. When even the sixth plane of the mental world is transcended, illusion vanishes and God is realized. In the human form, when the soul is mental conscious, it is unconscious of the gross body and the subtle body. But it does work through the gross and subtle bodies, not directly, but on the mental plane. So even if the mental conscious human soul is unconscious of the gross body and the subtle body, and therefore does not realize the gross and subtle worlds, he can unconsciously utilize the gross through various aspects of the gross and is thus seen eating, drinking, sleeping, seeing, hearing, and feeling as an ordinary gross conscious human being, though he is all the while conscious only of the mental world with his mental sense of seeing. Similarly, he can unconsciously utilize the subtle through various gross aspects of energy in the form of nuclear energies, etc., while all the time being only conscious of seeing with his mental sense. The mental conscious human soul in the mental world has now only one sense, and that is of seeing. Seeing is all the time mentioned in quotes, mental seeing. Anyway, there is also a small footnote on mental conscious in the previous page. So there is a cross-reference here. Mental consciousness from the everything and the nothing. I suggest we quickly read. It's just 3 pages, so why don't we just go there and read it? 3 or 4 pages.
Hey, Karthik, before you go there, every
Sure.
time I read God Speaks, I'll find new thing. Can you go to the
Mhm.
previous page?
Sure.
See, every
I am
time,
in the previous page. We started from here, yeah.
yeah, in the bottom, the sixth plane consciousness is thoughtless and governs the feelings. Before that, where is that? Yeah, the sixth plane consciousness is thoughtless and governs the feelings of the gross and subtle conscious souls. This is often misinterpreted as mastery over the hearts of all gross and subtle conscious souls. A soul with sixth plane consciousness does not govern and regulate the so-called thought, but controls and governs that state of mind in the mental plane, which emanates the feelings of emotion and desires. I thought that's an interesting point there. Sixth plane people does not deal with the heart; they only deal
Heart.
with the mind.
No, but
Yeah,
the emotions are part of the mind, and
yeah.
emotions part of the universal mind. So actually, they can control and govern the emotions of all of creation, but through the mental plane alone, through the mental
What do you
world
mean by
alone.
universal? What do you mean by
So if you,
universal mind?
I'll go there. So if you see here, state
Hmm.
that state of mind in the mental plane. So it's not just one soul's mental plane, but all hearts, of all gross and subtle conscious souls.
I thought single person's, I
No,
think they
no, no,
control
no.
single
So let's read
person's
it
mind.
again. Let's read it again. Let's read it again.
Okay.
So let's read the whole paragraph again. The sixth plane of the mental world is the state of full consciousness of feeling, and thus mastery over the control and creations of feelings is established, and no more scope is left for even a single thought to penetrate into the domain of feelings. Okay, that's the first statement. Second
Okay.
statement. The sixth plane consciousness is thoughtless and governs the feelings of the gross and subtle conscious souls, plural.
Okay.
Okay,
What does it mean?
this, yeah, I'll come to it. Let's finish the
Okay.
paragraph. This is often
Oh,
misinterpreted as mastery over the hearts of all gross and subtle conscious souls. Full stop.
all, I see.
All, okay? And then in brackets, a soul with sixth plane consciousness does not govern or regulate the so-called heart, but controls and governs that state of big M mind in the mental plane, which emanates feelings of emotion and desires. Now, the key thing here is the fact that there is a big M here, and that it follows up with this line where it says, over the hearts of all gross and subtle conscious souls. So the emphasis suggests that it is see, you're already in the sixth plane, and in the
Mm.
sixth plane you are operating at the mental plane where you're able to govern the feelings and thoughts of in the first one thoughts, and in the second one emotions. And in when you say emotions, you're able to manage govern the emotions of all souls. That's the key thing.
Do I
So do
remember
do
right
you mean
that
to
six?
say, I mean, does it
Sorry.
mean to say the all the minds of the whole earth, the whole earth,
Yes, yes,
whole world?
yes, control. So if you there is this is mentioned elsewhere too, and maybe it's mentioned when we go and read mental consciousness in Everything and Nothing. So you
Mm.
actually control the feelings and thoughts of
But
everyone
everybody
in
has
creation.
different feelings and thoughts, right? Every groups.
Yes, but you can a person in the sixth plane can actually influence that, can
Uh,
change that. To
Ravi, if you imagine this is the plane where the Sadgurus and
Yes.
below the avatar, but above all other
Yes.
capable manifestations, their domain. So they have a control over all other souls.
And did we read that Sai Baba was a sixth plane
Yeah.
guru?
What?
no, Sai Baba was perfect master. Let's not.
Sadguru,
Seventh
right?
plane.
Yeah, Sadhguru. So there's no sixth plane. He's beyond the planes. He's at a level which is above the planes. Yes. So at
Okay.
that plane, you operate on all the minds and hearts
Guru.
of all the minds of all the people, no doubt. But
No, but Baba mentioned about Prophet Muhammad stationed himself in the sixth plane.
Hmm. I thought
Where did I
Sai
read
Baba
this?
was also sixth plane.
Oh, no, no, no. Sai Baba is perfect master, and
no, perfect
No?
master.
he's the head
Perfect
of all
master.
the perfect masters.
Okay.
He's the Kutub.
Before Baba, he was the Zaman Kutub Irshad, and then he
Mm.
gave up to in favor of the Avatar.
So sixth
Yeah.
plane people are Sadguru or they're not?
No, no, no.
They are not. No, no,
No,
no.
they
So
have mental
it's a
conscious. They're mental conscious.
okay. So it's a
Um,
progression, right? So the progression is you go through the sixth plane, you go through the seventh plane, get God realization, and if you have duty, right?
no, you don't have to go through
If
seventh plane. When you
yeah,
cross the threshold of sixth plane, you get God realization. Go through Fana
yes,
and Fana Fila and all those things.
Anafila.
Nirvikalpa Samadhi.
And then if you have duty, you come back to the creation consciousness and God consciousness in parallel, and operate in that realm and perform duty with a big D, universal duty, universal work,
Mm.
Baba's
Mhm.
work.
Mhm.
and that is a Sadguru. And only five souls at any time operate at that level. So, and it's as close as you can get to the avatar, right? So you have all abilities of universal work. Not, I mean, when I say as close as avatar, I'm just being figurative here in comparison to the other souls who are not in the status of the perfect master. But basically the point is, we cannot. There are a few more souls in sixth plane than Sadguru. So let's put it that way, right? So just as a distinction.
You know, another example is Ivy Deuce. Baba said she is in the sixth plane. Ivy Deuce,
But
the
she's not
Murshida
perfect
of
master. Yeah, Sufis.
Sufi, but she is in the sixth plane. She was normal as anybody. But that's what Baba said in Nothing and Everything. Somebody has a guru, even though they are walking in the plane, they will make sure they are also normal conscious. And another example was, remember Abdul Pakrawan, the
Abdullah
Premashan
Pakarwa.
boy?
Yeah, Premashan.
He was a Persian, and Baba pushed him to sixth plane, and he was enjoying the sixth plane. Baba had to bring him down to normal conscious by giving him enema. So he was in sixth plane, but also normal consciousness because Baba was his guru.
Shota
Guru
Baba.
plays a very, very important role when the people are going through involution planes. Otherwise, they're lost. That's why they become musts. Musts are enjoying the heavens, thousands of years. Yeah.
Thousands of years. Okay.
Mm-hmm. They got lost in the heavens. They think they got God realization, and all those heavens they are enjoying there, unless some perfect master rescues them. But they're
No,
not. They're not want to be rescued.
my only question was thousands of years. How does that work? How can it be
I
thousands
don't
of
know.
years?
I read recently somewhere thousands of years in Nothing and Everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's there in Nothing and Everything. Yeah. Thousands of years, maybe less. You know, depends upon
Everything,
needs.
everything and nothing.
Not everybody thousands of years, but probably
nothing and
some.
everything. Okay. Okay, because a must and a madzu are limited by the limitation of human form, which could be 100+ years or 100 years max, right? So I was just curious.
Mazub, you're talking
Anyway,
about Mazub?
Matsub and Must are limited by the fact that they cannot spend more than the most commonly occurring human life uh, form, or the life what do you call lifespan, which is 100+ years. So thousands of years in the state of a must is something I wanted to clarify on.
Oh, Baba gave clarity on must, passing away of the must in creation and its causes. What happens if a must drops the body, right? So first plane, second plane, third plane, they have the same characteristics. When they drop the body, when they are enjoying the heaven, they drop the body and they are born in a normal consciousness, gross consciousness. And then very fast they evolve to the whatever the plane they belong to, first, second, third. If they hold on to Guru, then they're lucky. You know, the Guru will take them straight. If they don't care about Guru, they want to enjoy in their own heavens, they get stuck in their heavens.
Yeah.
So having a Guru, big difference. Yeah.
The planes and the asmans. Yeah.
So the idea is that they enjoy thousands of years in different births put together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably.
Who is
yeah.
There's one example Baba gave, this subtle fourth plane Maz. 1400 years he had the same body. 1400 years.
Oh.
And he came to Akalkot, what's his name? Akalkot Maharaj.
Swami
Perfect man.
Samarth.
Baba said he was Samarth, yeah, Akalkot. He comes to Akalkot Maharaj, and Akalkot Maharaj, using his right hand, slaps him with a comment, "You have had illegal relationships." That brings him to God realization, it seems.
Wow, this is an interesting story.
I
I've
thought,
not come
I thought
across
that's an
this.
interesting story. Either read it
Yeah.
in either in tiffin lectures or yeah, one of the
Because in fact, I
something
don't
to do
think
with
I've
the
come
perfect master
across
use.
Swami Samarth in Baba's context, so that's very interesting. If you can find some more information and share it on the group, that'd be good. Anyway,
He's an
so any other
yeah.
comments, Sunil and Mamaji?
No, that 1,000 years, I was thinking maybe in different
Multiple
births.
births, yeah, possible. Agreed.
Yeah. So I just want to tell you about how when the drops, okay? When the when the plane, people in the plane drops the body, first plane, second plane, third plane have similar characteristics. They are born in the gross plane, and they are born. They evolve with the human body. They evolve to their levels. First plane, second plane, third plane, and the fourth plane people, they are born again in the fourth plane if they drop the body. Fifth plane people also, when they drop the body, they are born again in the fifth plane. Sixth plane people, when they drop the body, they get immediate God realization just before dying. That's what Baba
Okay.
wrote in the when he gave talks to Prem Ashram boys. But one interesting thing what mm, occurred to me was, you remember Krishna Nair? He was doing night watchman some I forgot the number of years ago. One ghost bothers him a lot, and he complains to Baba, and it bothered him for a few days when he was doing night watchman for Baba. And finally, after a few days, I don't remember the number of days, in his talks it is there. Baba says, "You won't be bothered again." Why, Baba? Um, Baba says he's a sixth plane person in the sixth plane, and he commits suicide. So he became a ghost, sixth plane ghost. And then Krishna Nair asked, Baba, why did you delay so much? Why didn't you give him God realization or union with you in the first day itself? Then Baba said, time has to come. That's what Baba said. So that makes me wonder, maybe not supposed to commit suicide. So even sixth plane people also commit suicide. You know, it's interesting how things happen.
Yes.
This talk is there in the Krishna Nair's talk in the Mandali Hall talks. Krishna Nair. Very interesting talks with him.
Okay. Great. Just so that we address Sunil's point on the distinction between the planes and perfect master, I have two references to offer. One is, I was just looking at the notations that we had created in the past. Yeah, here's stages on the path. Yeah, can you see this? So if you see the top, it gives you the planes, right? And after you finish Hakikats, the seventh plane, you can either go to Bakayat, which is become a Jivan Mukta, optional, and again further optional for just the five souls is the state of the perfect master. Right? So it's not that everybody goes through that. So maybe now Jesus, I mean, if you're doing a miracle, the avatar or the perfect master is operating at a lower plane. It does not dilute his status, but he's just incidentally operating on that plane.
Operating on that plane. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
So
I mixed it
maybe
up.
the reference, maybe the reference that you encountered about Sai Baba was when he was operating in that plane.
Operating in the sixth plane. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying.
Can we have the chart once again, Jack?
Yeah, can you show the chart
sure.
again?
Sure. Where is it?
I have some questions to ask.
Okay. Sure. So, yeah.
We have Mehrabad on screen.
Marifat, fifth and sixth plane, Hakika,
Shariat,
Baka.
Tariqat, Marifat, Hakikat, Wakayat, Hubiyat. So these terms we need to somehow keep in mind.
Yeah.
So actually, Baba talks about, I think, the 4 phases, Shariat through Hakikat in God Speaks. And I'm trying to think where else we came across this, this whole journey. And I think I created the slide at that time. I'm trying to think which book, but I
we
can.
need to say in the God Speaks itself, we will come to that step. There are 4
Yes,
journeys, no?
Yes.
There, all these reference will come. So what is the first journey and where it ends, and then the second journey and all that. So then we can come back to this and try to fix them also into this.
Correct. In fact, like you said, I think the first time it just went over my head. Then the second time, I remember the 4 stages, but without registering the Sufi equivalents. And then when we came across this in some other book is when I said, okay, I think we should create a slide for this so that it's still the Sufi terms are tough. I only remember Hakikat and Shariat. Shariat is the most basic because you hear of Shariat from a religion standpoint. So I remember that Shariat is the lowest one, but then the others are difficult to remember. Tariqat and Marifat. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So I have a couple of comments. I think this Kutubiyat is there in God Speaks, I think, Kutubiyat. And I never heard
Kutub is
Bakayat.
perfect master.
Yeah. And these 3, they are not different levels. These Hakikat, 7th plane, everybody is in 7th plane. And God realization, this is Mazubs, right? Brahmi booths here. And so everybody gets, when they get God realization, everybody gets to be a Mazub, a Brahmi booth. But perfect masters work some people to be either Jivan Mukta or Paramahamsa. So they both in the same state. Only difference is Mazubiyat is not normal conscious, in only God intoxicated. Whereas Jivan Mukta, they are in Turiya Avastha. That means whenever they want to experience God, they are experiencing God. Whenever they want to be normal, they want to be normal human being. Normal human being like leading the life, everything. Jivan Mukta and Paramahamsa. But they are in the 7th plane. And perfect master can be anybody, I believe, where I read it. Anybody, at one time, I thought this is the stage. Mazubiyat, then Jivan Mukta, then perfect master. But no, what I read is when a soul has to be perfect master was decided when the drop was formed itself, it seems.
Yes. It's all
That also I read. Okay, and they can be in the gross plane or any of these planes. When the situation comes, they will be pushed to the perfect master stage, 5 factor, one of the 5 perfect master stage. They can be either in the gross plane or any planes, from gross plane to Jivan Mukta. Anybody can become perfect master. That's what I heard. I know, I
One
read.
point, okay. One point I would like to highlight here is that the chart in the part 6, the last pages, I think seventh chart, which which is a compendium of everything together, very big chart. That will give you all these things in different places. So we need to keep seeing that now and then, so that whatever small doubts we get can be clarified from there. Right? Ashok will be very much aware of that chart.
Okay, so too many references. So let me start with just showing the
Yes, yes,
chart
yes.
that Mamaji is talking about, and then I'll get to cross-reference. So we are now in cross-reference confusion. One second, why is
We were
this not
reading everything
showing?
and nothing, right? Let's start from there, one by one.
No,
Just
no, no. Hold
note
on,
down.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I will. I know the I know. I know where we are. Let me take one at a time. Yeah, like you said. First reference is the big chart that. Why is this not showing everything in one? Okay, this is better. Okay, my MacBook needs a restart. It's gotten slow. Mamaji is talking about this chart.
No, not this. The other one. This also help. Yes,
Yeah, Ludwig. This one, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, this
So
is
here everything is placed.
Ludwig's chart. Yes, yes. So we have this blown up here as well, but basically this contextualizes everything and gives you and like Mamaji said, you have to keep going back to it. So you will
Yes.
find Bakayat here, right? And the reference I was trying to share was the fact that where it came from. So it made me curious and I wanted to go back and get it. So the stages on the path, the presentation or the slide that I showed you came based entirely on this chapter. And this chapter is part 6, chapter 6 of part 2 of Listen Humanity, right? I'm not going to read, but so I'm just bringing this up to say that this is straight from there, right? And I will show you. I'm just pacing through this. This is a big chapter, right? So, but this is what gave us that slide. So I'm just giving you a cross reference here. Now, as we rightly said, I mean, as we will pick up from where we left off, which is we were here, and in that there was a reference to reading everything and the nothing, and one particular chapter, which is mental consciousness, and that is already open here. So let's quickly read mental consciousness. It's 4 pages, 101 through 104. Yeah, Jai Baba. Mental consciousness. Those on the mental planes are not conscious of the gross or subtle planes. How then is it possible for one on the mental plane to speak, eat, drink, etc.? In short, to perform actions the same as those of an ordinary man on the gross plane. It is just as we hear of people walking or eating, drinking, writing, pilfering, and so on in their sleep, and yet they are absolutely unconscious of doing these gross actions. It is not uncommon for a person to talk in his sleep. All those around him can hear him speaking in his sleep, but the person himself is not aware or conscious of his own speaking. In the same way, the ones on the mental planes are totally unconscious of gross and subtle actions and spheres, although all their gross and subtle actions are the outcome of their thoughts and feelings. the functions of, again, big M mind. Those on the mental planes, while controlling the thoughts and consequent actions of others and the subtle on the subtle and gross planes, are themselves not conscious of their own gross and subtle actions. Emphasis again on while controlling the thoughts and consequent actions of others on the subtle and gross planes. So literally everybody in creation, right? I continue. This is because such a thing as gross or subtle does not exist for them. Their consciousness is totally severed and disassociated from the gross and subtle spheres. For instance, an ordinary man cannot but say he is man, for he identifies himself with the gross body. He is gross conscious, and his consciousness of being is associated directly only with the gross body, Sharira. Another, who is on the subtle plane, cannot but identify himself with the subtle body, Prana, while yet another, who is on the mental plane, cannot but identify himself with the mental body, Mana. This capital M mind personified Atma of the mental plane, who as Mana cannot by any remotest possibility ever identify itself as Sharira or Prana, is wholly disassociated from the gross and subtle bodies and cannot experience the gross and subtle spheres. For example, let us imagine India as representing the gross world, England as the subtle world, America as the mental world. If A is in India, he has full consciousness of India and has totally no consciousness of England and America. When A goes to England, he is obviously neither in India nor in America. He is now entirely removed from these two places. He possesses full consciousness as before, but the same full consciousness is now absolutely and entirely in England. India is totally dropped from the orbit of his consciousness, while America has not yet entered into it. Similarly, when A goes to America, he is neither in India nor in England. He is now entirely withdrawn from these two places. He continues to possess.
Lost you. MBA admin is lost. We are not able to hear you.
Yeah, can't hear him. Yep.
Pratik, are you there?
I think he'll come back. Let's wait for a minute.
Network freeze.
Yeah, I guess sometimes when the power goes off, it'll just be bounced off.
Are you reading, Karthik? You are
No, he's
moving the
not there.
page,
He's
but we
dropped
are
off the
not
call.
able to hear you.
Mamaji,
He's
he's
moving the
oh, he's-
the content, right?
oh yeah, but I can't see him in the content is moving.
MBA administrator is there.
I don't know what's happening now.
Karthik, we lost you. Audio.
Just send a message.
Yeah. Hey, he's still moving.
Hello.
Karthik. How do we do this? Anybody can call him?
I'm trying.
I think he's in Dubai. The WhatsApp may not work. Trying to see if Teams, but my Teams is official version.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
Karthik. Finally.
We lost you. We were not able to hear you.
Oh, for how long?
Last 1.5 or 2 pages.
Quite
Last 2
long.
Oh
hours.
my God. Oh my God, I've been going on and on.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
We saw the pages moving.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Sorry about that.
So you'll have to
Okay.
go back.
Okay. So did we do the England, America? Do you remember
Yes,
that?
yes. Not
Okay.
yet America.
Okay.
England
So let's start.
completed.
Let's start again from that example.
Yes.
So Baba basically uses that example and a very similar example of the torch, which is there even in the discourses. So we will see both these examples right now. Okay, so I start from here again. For example, let us imagine India as representing the gross world, England as the subtle world, and America as the mental world. If A is in India, he has full consciousness of India and has totally no consciousness of England and America. When A goes to England, he is obviously neither in India nor in America. He is now entirely removed from these two places. He possesses full consciousness as before, but the same full consciousness is now absolutely and entirely in England. India is totally dropped from the orbit of his consciousness, while America has not yet entered into it. Similarly, when A goes to America, he is neither in India nor in England. He is now entirely withdrawn from these two places. He continues to possess full consciousness as before, but this same full consciousness is now absolutely and entirely in America. India and England are totally dropped from the orbit of his consciousness. Again, consciousness may be compared, now the next analogy, again, consciousness may be compared to the light from a flashlight or torch. The area illuminated by the light of the torch represents the particular plane of consciousness. Imagine three regions stationed at increasing distance from you, termed M, S, and G, to represent the mental, subtle, and gross planes. These are in complete darkness to begin with. When the light of the torch is directed on G, representing the gross plane, which is furthest from yourself, this region becomes under the direct focus of light and is fully lit with its immediate vicinity dimly glowing from the reflection of that focused light. The areas S and M are in total darkness. If this light is at last made to shift nearer toward you to focus on S, representing the subtle plane, the region G is left in total darkness. Now, S alone is fully illuminated, with the dim glow of reflection having moved to the vicinity of the newly focused area of light. If this focus of light is shifted still nearer toward you to M, representing the mental plane, both the regions G and S are left in total darkness. It is now M that receives the full and direct focus of light, and it alone is fully illuminated, while the dim glow of reflection is automatically thrown around this newly focused area. So, the torch example. I continue. When the focus of this same light is finally shifted still nearer, not only toward you, but actually on you, it is yourself that is fully lit, and all the three regions, G, S, and M, are in total darkness. You are thus fully conscious only of your in capital self. This final focusing of the light consciousness onto your biggest self is the big G goal. This is biggest self illumination, or in other words, God realization. So I think this is very clear. Any action performed by one on the mental planes, as observed by the gross conscious or subtle conscious Atmas, is nothing but a gross or subtle manifestation of a mental action. The apparently gross action that you on the gross plane see performed by one on the mental plane is merely the pattern of that mental function translated on the screen of your own gross consciousness. Hence, the one on the mental plane, totally disassociated from the gross and subtle, does not speak, eat, or drink in the sense that those on the gross plane eat, drink, and speak, though he appears to do so. When you see such a one eating, drinking, speaking, etc., it is nothing but your own gross interpretation of the reflection of his mental activity. For example, when you see the moon reflected in a lake, to all intents and purposes, it is the water as long as your gaze is directed at the lake. Sorry, to all intents and purposes, it is in the water as long as your gaze is directed at the lake. The moon is not in the water. The reflection of the moon is in the water, but it appears as if the moon is in the water. So, the consciousness of the one on the mental planes is not there. The reflection of his consciousness is here, but it appears as if he was conscious of the gross plane. When one on the mental planes performs an action, that act cannot be comprehended by anyone having consciousness only of the subtle or of the gross. That same act is interpreted differently by the ones on the subtle planes and the ones on the gross plane in the light of their own respective consciousness. Consciousnesses, because it's two. I mean, it's plural. In short, the function of mind of one on the mental planes, when received by you on the gross plane, comes through the channel of your gross consciousness and reaches you in the shape or movement familiar to your range of awareness and capacity of comprehension. Okay, that's the end of it. Yeah. So it's basically more emphasis to already something that was mentioned in God Speaks, where the actions that one sees in souls that are in the mental plane, mental world, and mental planes is actually a reflection of the actual action that you see, because it's your inability to see anything else, and they are actually doing it almost unconsciously.
Yeah,
Okay, any
one example that we can use to understand this is
Mhm.
that we have light and sound, right? So
Yeah,
human eyes and human ear can only see and hear only a band or a spectrum of the whole frequency range. So is that the gross plane that we are in, we are able to see only that part which we are able to associate. But there are things which are beyond that in either directions actually. See, like in
yeah.
sound, we have a lot, both.
Animals, colors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There are
yeah,
there are lights which are not visible to human eyes. There are sounds which are not visible to us, or we cannot hear them. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah.
Just an
They
example.
exist. Yeah, they exist, but it is your incapacity to see them. Yeah, very good analogy. Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts, or we can jump back to God's streets.
This brings
Yeah.
to some sort of a understanding that those around a master or a perfect master perceive things in their own consciousness, and each one may perceive in a different way. So, the maturity or the growth in the planes of the people around may receive it in different levels from the master. So, it need not be the same to everyone.
Yeah, it's not from the master, it is by the individuals.
Yes,
So it's perceived by the individuals
yes,
differently.
yes.
The master does it unconsciously, he is just moving on in his life. He's oblivious to it.
Yeah.
But the perception of the individual could be different based on their competence and their own levels.
Yeah. And also there's a learning. I try to find that is that we should refrain from interpreting other masters' actions and what they do and what they say and other things because maybe
Yes.
our incapacity to understand them. So it's better to keep shut and eyes closed, commenting on somebody else. I think that's also Baba's wish.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's get back to our main reading, which is where we started. So now
The
I am on
footnote, the
page
footnote. We
50.
are in the footnote. Right?
Yeah. So we finished the footnote, which is basically everything and nothing. And we finished pages 101 through 104. We had already read the next page, I mean, up to finish this paragraph, the seeing, if you remember, the multiple ways of seeing in the mental plane. So now we continue from there. Page 50. So this mental conscious human soul on the fifth plane experiences the first state of the mental world with the mental body or the mind and gains consciousness of the first state of big M mind. Here, the soul is capable of controlling the first state of big M mind, that is, the thoughts of the gross conscious and subtle conscious human souls, but is now totally incapable of performing any miracles because of his total unconsciousness of the infinite energy of the subtle world and its powers. So he's moved to the mental world. The torch has moved to the other focus. So it's only dimly lighting the surroundings, and the subtle world is now not even in focus, right? So he's not able to use infinite energy or energy itself. However, as this mental conscious human soul controls the first state of big M mind of the subtle conscious human souls, the incitement in the subtle conscious human soul to perform miracles is checked controlled, or aggravated according to the desire and will of the mind of the mental conscious human soul, who is capable of creating and controlling thoughts of other minds and is himself stable and can never again slide down to any lower level of consciousness. So even if you get an incitement to perform a miracle, because you've crossed the chasm of the fourth plane, you're able to check your own thought and curb that feeling of trying to uh, go down to slide down to a lower level of consciousness just to perform a miracle. Very subtle but important point. Gradually, as the involution of the consciousness of the mental conscious human soul progresses deeper and deeper, he experiences mastery over the second state of big M mind, that is feeling. And he now becomes fully conscious of the mind or the mental body and experiences the whole of the mental body on the sixth plane. This experience is of seeing God face to face, seeing God everywhere and in everything. So now there is
See,
a
here one thing
reference
we
to
have
the
to note
sixth plane.
down.
Yeah.
See, one thing we have to note down is he's feeling of seeing, not actually seeing. It's just a feeling of seeing.
Feeling. No. It's not feeling of seeing. It's feeling alone. So in the sixth plane, it is feeling. Where do you get the sense that it is feeling of seeing? This I'll read the last line again and maybe it will clarify for you, Ravi. This experience is of seeing God face to face, seeing God everywhere and in everything. And seeing is in quotes. The feeling part is basically first it is thoughts. You basically dominate, to use Baba's words, it's manage and govern all the gross and subtle conscious souls thought.
Lost you.
No, you mean to say he's just seeing with the gross eyes?
No.
No, he's having the
Soul.
feeling of seeing God
Am I
face to
audible?
face. Now it's audible. It was not. So he
Okay.
mentions
Yeah.
somewhere else. He has the feeling of seeing. See, plane 8, supplement number 8.
Yeah, we'll go there, but it's not feeling of
Mm.
seeing, it is seeing, and feeling is separate. So let me just repeat what I said when
So
I
you
was
mean to
probably
say
not
Don't
with
think
audible.
so.
with mental eyes, he's seeing, right? That's what you meant to say?
Correct. Yes.
We have gross eyes. People in the subtle world, they have subtle eyes, and the people in the mental world, they have mental eyes, right?
Correct. Yes.
So what do you mean by seeing?
So,
With the gross eyes he's seeing, or with the mental eye he's seeing? What is a mental eye?
so mental eye is basically the if you see earlier 2 pages back, he said with his mental sense of seeing. Yeah. So can you see this line here? Cross aspect. No. There was one specific thing where he said the only faculty that persists in the sixth
Seeing,
plane
right,
is seeing.
right,
Yeah,
seeing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a feeling of seeing. So that's two different things. So firstly, fifth plane, you dominate, or rather manage and govern all the thoughts of all gross and subtle conscious souls. That is a stage. Okay.
Mm, mm.
Second, in the sixth plane, you are actually controlling and managing all the feelings. Nothing to do with seeing. Seeing is the faculty that exists, of course, in the sixth plane. But you're basically dominating the feeling directly. That's not
No,
feeling of seeing.
Here, how do you define feeling here is uh, different from what we actually take the idea when we say I'm feeling so and so. Now in the gross plane for us, feeling is sorrow, happiness, and other emotions. But feeling is a sense of uh, uh, something is with you, something is behind you. You have that vision, or you have that sort of a, I don't want to use the term feeling, but awareness. So that is the feeling I feel that is referred to here. So that awareness of somebody with you is a sort of a the seeing. So I can see God means I feel God. I am aware of God. That is how I put them together.
Yeah. See, with the gross, we are in the gross world. Let's assume we are all in the gross world. Okay, we see gross things. Okay, so because my samskaras are making me see things, right? With the gross eyes. Let's say my sanskaras change it to subtle sanskaras. So I don't see this gross world. I see even though I am present in the physical form, but I experience the subtle world, right? Not the gross world, subtle world. Because these subtle sanskaras are making me see with the subtle eyes, the subtle world. Same way. And I have the feelings of whatever it is in the subtle world. So same thing when my sanskaras, let's say, change it from subtle to mental, much softer, much finer, then I am in the mental world. I don't see subtle world. I don't see gross world. I have physical body that you and I that all the other gross people see. But I have a physical body and I have a mental body. Mental body is nothing but mental sanskaras. So the eyes I have, let me give you an example of first plane, okay? When somebody enters the first plane, they hear beautiful music,
Sounds, yes.
and beautiful scents,
Smells.
right?
Yes.
Smells. They
Yes.
experience with the gross sense of nostril and gross sense of hearing.
Correct.
But when they go up in the higher levels, then they experience these with their subtle ears and subtle nostrils, sense of smelling. So in the same way, when somebody is in the sixth plane, they have a sense of seeing, not in our point of view, but their own seeing. That is the feelings. They're completely with the mind. Mind is feelings. Fifth plane
So
is
if I were to
thoughts.
play with words, the more relevant thing is I am seeing feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Seeing,
So
feeling,
that's a
but they
sort
don't
of an
experience God.
awareness.
Milder.
So it's a
Yes,
They don't
sort of
what's
an
the
experience God.
meaning
They're
awareness.
of so
imagining, that's all.
to
See,
yeah,
nobody can see God or experience God until they cross the sixth plane. It's just an
yes,
imagination. They are in imagination. Even if they are in the sixth plane, they're imagining to see. What is imagination? A feeling of seeing. That's what I'm thinking.
I do
That's
not
why
subscribe to that view. Simply because we are getting confused in the semantics of two words, feeling and seeing.
yes.
Baba is referring to seeing very clearly as
No,
the
Baba.
seeing
No,
of.
Baba used. I don't remember where I saw this. Baba used this word, feeling of seeing. Baba used this word.
Okay. Okay.
I have to think where I saw this.
Okay, I mean,
Maybe in
happy
the
to discuss more when you are able to get that second cross reference.
reference. Yeah,
But
I want.
where what I am understanding, let me summarize yet again, and then let's see if all of us agree on that. Again, as I said, this is my understanding. So you go through the planes and you get to the mental plane, and in that there are two phases. The first phase, I am operating at the realm of thoughts,
Mhm.
and I basically I'm able to see, manage, and govern thoughts of all of humanity, all of creation, right? So all
Mm.
gross and
Mm.
subtle conscious souls
No, and
thoughts.
I understand. You
Yeah,
understand the thoughts of all the grass subtle plane people.
correct. Second phase of that is I I understand and manage and control the feelings. Now, feelings means emotions and desires. Again, to clarify, what is feeling? It's not perception. It is specifically emotions and desires. See here. So, which emanates feelings of emotion and desires. So, it's not feeling is not touch and feel perception. No, it's emotions and desires. Okay. So, that's
Mm.
the
Mm.
second phase. Now, the concept of seeing is there, you can use the word perception. So, what are you seeing? So you can see, you can deal with or perceive feelings is something I can accept. But I cannot accept the other way around, which is feeling of seeing. It's seeing of feelings. I agree with that, but not feeling of seeings.
No, see, Baba said everybody is in sixth plane, imagination, right? Until the sixth plane, they're imagining. We are imagining. Just like what
Yes.
Baba explained in the moon in the water, right? That's what we are seeing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Even in the sixth plane, also, that is true. They're not experiencing God, they're only seeing the God. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's proceed. That's
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
interesting.
Let's proceed. But please
So,
do
what I
try to
understand
get
is,
that.
Karthik, you and I are two different, but we are one actually. We are two different thinkers. That's all there is to it.
There are as many thinkers as there are souls. Okay. It's unfortunate reality. So, but it's important that we use constructs that are commonly understood to gain understanding and reach a common ground. Otherwise, we will be uh, confused. Of course, one can use our own individual vocabularies, our own faculties, our own understandings. But in a group effort, semantics and common understanding and common language and common words are important, right? So, I
Let me
have,
find the reference where
yes, sure,
where
sure.
I
Feeling
remember
of
to have
seeing,
seen.
yes.
I think it is in the recently I've read a few times the creation and its causes.
Okay,
Probably
sure,
there. Mhm.
sure. I don't have the soft copy, so I will lean on you to get me that reference. Yeah, you can share it on the group, and then we can, of course, talk when we get the next chance. My sharing has stopped. I'm just going to bring it back. Yeah. So, yeah. So, how much time do we have? Yeah. So
15
let's at
minutes.
least try to finish. Yeah, let's try to finish the supplement. Uh, so the supplement that's referred to here, supplement referred to here in page 50, right? So let's go to the supplement and read sixth plane. Maybe we'll get an answer also or more further clarity, Ravi. Sixth plane, page 50. The traveler who succeeds in reaching this plane is entitled to be called a peer or Satpurush. There is no adequate translation of these words in English. The word saint would perhaps do, but it suffers from the handicap of very loose usage. Hafiz remembers the sixth plane in the following words: Ma dar pya li Aks I Iru, Kiar, Dildi Im, I be Khabar, Z Lakshak, I Shurb I Mudam I Ma. The translation goes, we have seen the face of the beloved reflected in the cup of our mind or heart. O ignorant one, no notion have you of the bliss that we imbibe therefrom. So he's explaining the sixth plane experience to others. So he says, O ignorant one, no notion have you of the bliss that we imbibe therefrom. From where? When we see the face of the beloved reflected in the cup of our mind or heart. And you see it in the mind or heart because you see the face of the beloved literally everywhere once you are in the sixth plane. Yeah. Let's go back. So, continuing in the last line on page 50, right from the first plane up through the sixth plane, the involution of consciousness progressed gradually and steadily as the consciousness of the soul had less and less frequent experiences of multifarious and diverse opposite impressions, which grew fainter and fainter. Therefore, while the involution of the soul's consciousness was in progress, the diverse opposite impressions became gradually scarcer and fainter until the involved consciousness of the soul on the sixth plane is fully conscious of the mental body and experiences the mental world in full with practically no impressions at all, except a faint last trace of residual impressions of opposites. That is, the involved consciousness fully identifies with big M mind, and the soul tends to realize that he is big M mind, and this soul, as big M mind, has a last and total impression that he sees God face to face in everything, but he cannot see himself in God.
Yes.
I repeat, he sees God face to face in everything, but he cannot see himself in God, the last vestige of duality. The last vestige of duality is where you are able to recognize the unity in all of creation, the recognition of God in everything else, but you still see yourself as being separate.
I have uh, one example of this quoted in Vedanta also. I think when we try to understand the three different schools of thought, so they say at this plane, they can see God in a mirror in front of, when we say stand in front of a mirror, what we see is what actually we are, our own image there.
Correct.
But they say you see God there, but they do not identify you with God. That is the only difference. So you feel still God is different from you. So that is the chasm. So Dvaita and Advaita. So Dvaita says God is actually, to an extent, he is separate from you. So you can never become God. Be a dasa always. That is their how I see the Dvaita. Whereas Visista Dvaita says that you are God, but you cannot act as God. So be a sort of a bhakta of God always. Whereas Advaita says you are God. That is the difference. So that is the small line which experiences in the sixth plane itself, I think. So jumping into seventh is Advaita. So if you remain before that or struggle to go through that different aspect, I think the other two schools come there. This is my opinion. I am not quoting anywhere.
Very interesting, something to reflect and think more about.
Yes.
And also, that's an interesting analogy that you mentioned, which is I look at myself in the mirror, but I don't see me at one point of involution. At a point of involution, I actually see God in the mirror, but I'm not able to acknowledge that. And I
Not.
still feel that I am not that yet, right? So I have not reached the anal haq. And yeah, so I think so. If you look at Vedantic concepts, they basically uh, uh, I mean, they are saying the same thing, right? There can't be two truths. There's only one truth.
Yes.
But the way Baba has put it all together is obviously the latest
Yes.
and most comprehensive. So we have to see it in context, and every now and
Yes.
then we get excited when we see references from other religious and spiritual schools
Yes.
which correlate and confirm our understanding. Yeah.
And
Go ahead, you're
one
saying
more
something.
aspect which I would like to stress here for all of us to think is this in the inverted comma, we had a lot of seeing, feeling, and this inverted comma, seeing, feeling is awareness. Some do not see this, but others. What do you mean by? Because they are becoming aware of it, and this awareness is the cardinal thing what Baba stresses on. That's why he says, I have come to awaken to the awareness. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Interesting. Awareness, awakening. Okay, so let's continue. This mental conscious human soul of the sixth plane, almost void of all impressions and only conscious of mind, now is confronted with God face to face and sees God in everything, but does not see himself in God because, being still conscious of mind, he takes himself as big M mind. This mental conscious human soul associates himself with mind and is conscious of himself as big M mind and experiences himself as still something other than God. This mental conscious human soul on the sixth plane actually sees, in quotations, God face to face more vividly and intensively than the gross or subtle conscious human soul sees objects of the gross or subtle worlds. So you can't get clearer than this, right? So you see God everywhere. You see it as clearly and as practically or whatever way. You perceive it like as you would see gross objects when you're in the gross plane, right? There is an asterisk. So let's just go. I mean, asterisk is just a footnote. So, like
Hey,
an aching
Karthik,
tooth. Yeah.
I found the reference in Nothing and Everything.
Okay.
Let me,
That's
let me,
Bhav's.
let me read.
That's
Let,
Baba's. Yeah.
let me read what I read here about the sixth plane. I go to the direct plane, the pair, which
Can you
is
give me the
sixth
page
plane
number?
people. Page number 95.
Okay. Let
95.
me. Is it everything
Okay.
and nothing or nothing and everything?
Nothing and everything. Nothing and
So
everything.
Bhav. So Bhav.
Yeah, Bhava culture is
Okay. So
whatever
that's an
Baba
important
gave me.
distinction. It's yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. I'll- If you tell
Yeah,
if
go
you
ahead,
tell me the
open if
page
you
number,
can.
I'll yeah, I can open it.
95.
95. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, with other group, we are reading nothing and everything again. So there I came across. That's what I remember when you're reading that. Okay,
Yeah.
there. Yeah, first paragraph. See, read that first. The
The
peer is
peer,
face to.
yeah, the peer is face to face with God and has intense longing to unite with God, but he cannot realize him without help and suffers infinite pangs of separation. This mental suffering of infinitely longing for union is the highest expression of love for God within duality. The feeling of seeing God face to face is the highest feeling of the heart of the mind. This is what you're saying. This is
Yeah,
the
right.
quotation. Brilliant
Yeah.
reconnection. But I still think that this is a matter of usage. So here what Bhau is saying is the perception of seeing God face to face, the awareness of seeing God face to face, I'm using different words, is the highest perception of the heart of the mind, is the highest awareness of the heart of the mind. But it's not to be confused with also the capability of the sixth plane consciousness of the soul to be aware of all feelings, emotions, and desires of all souls. So both are true, right? So what you're saying here is in a manner of speaking, and what Baba is saying is more factual and descriptive of the state of the mental world and the
Yeah.
soul's involving soul in the in the sixth plane.
Yeah. See,
Right?
I'll
But
tell you one more example. This thought came to me, Karthik.
sure.
Suppose I showed you a pen and asked you, "Hey, Karthik, what is this?" You say it is pen. Okay.
Hmm.
The pen is not. You're only seeing the image of the pen because the image of the pen is formed in your mind, and your past experience of experiencing pen is in the form of sanskaras. So the memory comes back and matches what you see now. You recognize, you say it is, your answer is it's pen, right? This is what's happening when I show. So
Okay.
in the sixth plane, when he sees something, he sees God. Is it similar imagination? The moon imagination? He's not seeing the moon, but he's seeing the reflection of the moon, right? The
I think it's
sanskaras tell
more
him,
direct than that. It's more direct than that. My understanding or my it's only a guess at
but
this time.
did you understand my analogy of asking you about the pen? You are seeing the form of an image of the pen, but your memory is the one which is telling you and confirming you, yes, it is pen. That
The
is how
pen.
you're recognizing, right?
But unfortunately, the faculty of seeing till the time I reach sixth plane does not have experience of seeing God. So I only see
Yes, nobody
symbols,
has the
right? So
experience
I
of
see
seeing God.
Shiva. Yeah, exactly. When I in the gross plane, I see a symbol of Shiva. I see a symbol of Krishna. I've seen photographs of Baba. I've not
Yeah,
actually seen God. So this
yeah.
experience, I believe, will be unique and first time occurrence when you get to the sixth plane.
The
Hmm.
other aspect
I
is
think we get clarification when
the
we reach sixth plane.
no,
Let's
no,
wait for
other
him.
Yeah, I'll call you. I'll call you for
Ravi,
sure.
Ravi, the other aspect in your example is that all that
Hmm.
seeing that explained in the pen analogy, and you
Hmm.
said it is samskara. So this is a
Hmm.
state where all the samskaras are totally divided or eroded
No,
or taken away.
no, no. Yeah, but he
So
still
that
has
example may
this.
not suit here, I think.
No, Mamaji, all the other sanskaras are gone. That is true. But
True.
he still has the seeing sanskaras. Mental seeing. I do not know what that mental seeing is. That's what we are talking about, right? We are talking about mental seeing compared to what we see with the gross eyes.
No,
That's
even
what
with
we are
that,
comparing and talking. But he still has sanskaras.
Yes, still has.
Ego is there. That I consciousness is there. That is what is removed. The last thing the God removes from the human being is I. I is gone when all the rest of the sanskaras are gone. What happens in Fana? All the sanskaras are washed out by perfect master. So the I is gone. No, I is gone. I is transformed from focusing on sanskaras to experiencing the universal consciousness. It is only transferred. Only mind is gone. All the sanskaras are gone.
Yes, agreed.
So,
So,
Mamaji, I'm just explaining Mamaji.
no,
They
no.
still
yeah.
have
That
sanskaras.
example doesn't suit here, I think, because God is not actually seen even in inverted comma. It is the awareness. God is always there, and you have never seen God. You sort of become
That is
gradually
that is
aware of God. So
that is
that
why
final awareness is awakening.
yeah.
Uh,
That is
I
why
relate this.
they are seeing the reflection of the moon. They're not seeing the moon. They're seeing the reflection of the moon. They're not experiencing the moon. They are not one with the moon. They're only
Yes, you
seeing the
are.
reflection
You
of the
are
moon with
always
mental
seeing
sense.
the reflection till the sixth plane. You see God in the seventh plane without reflection,
Yeah,
and
Yes.
you become one with us.
yeah, one with the
Continue this.
God, and you experience God. Yeah, it's true. Anyway, when we all meet, when we all get sixth plane, we'll get together, have a 3,000-year scotch bottle, and then we will talk.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope I don't agree. I mean, I hope by then the sanskara of the scotch bottle is gone.
Maybe Baba can do anything, right? He can retain our stuff.
Yes, yes. Okay, so on that note, we will pause and continue. And like Ravi or someone said earlier, every time you read and more so in a group context where different points of view and different perspectives come in, it helps our individual journey like nothing else, right? So
Yeah,
it's so
that is.
beautiful that we understand by others' questions, others' doubts, we understand so much more. So thank you, Baba.
Thank you,
Thank you to
Baba.
all of you for joining in and making this so special.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
Baba.
sir.
Thank you, Baba.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jai
Sunil, I
Baba.
So
thought Sunil will tell something. He had lot of issues yesterday. Did we all
I
confuse him today further?
no, I clarified the doubts myself, and you did clarify yesterday. You know, the ego mind, until it clarifies yourself, listening alone is not enough. Either Baba's telling or you yourself clarify. So what happens on the sixth plane is there's a small amount of ego that's still left. Separation is still left.
Yeah, yeah.
And only on the seventh plane you realize God or you become one with God. And what I also learned through my small reading on the side, which I did, is yes, ordinary mukti we all want, but that's not the final goal of the journey. The journey
That
is
is the point. That
no,
is the
it's
no, no,
final
no.
not.
goal.
So
It's not. It's not.
It is.
It's
It
not.
is. It is. It
Okay,
is.
I
Union.
read.
again, Sunil, if I were to use words, it need not be the last step.
I think
So
No, that is the final
using a
union.
no, no, no,
That is the
no.
final union.
I don't agree with Ravi, but I would like to comment on what Sunil is saying. I don't think it. My understanding is OM. I mean, ordinary mukti is not the uh, only endpoint.
It's one of the endpoints, closer to the end of journey, but it's not the end of the journey.
Closest to the end point, but not the end point.
See, ordinary mukti happens when somebody drops the body. When somebody drops the body, the system is not complete. Only the subtle body and the mental body are left. That is where the cleaning of sanskaras happens, when somebody is ready. That is called ordinary mukti. They experience the God state. That is the ordinary mukti. They get the union. God realization, when the people get God realization, most of them leave the body immediately. Then they get union. Other people, they want to retain the body for some more time. They are mazubs. Some people retain the body and become normal conscious. Those are Jivan Muktas. Some people become perfect masters. When the job is done, they all get union. Everybody gets union. Mukti happens in the seventh plane. There is no more journey for them. Read the God Speaks. Read the God Speaks. I don't have to explain to you.
Seventh plane,
but please read the God Speaks. You can get the answer.
Yeah. I'm actually referring to God Speaks, so we can maybe discuss more next week. So 6 is not the end.
6 is the last state of human being.
Last state, yeah. So 7th is where you merge with God, and that's the basic end of journey.
Yeah.
Right.
7th place in God's world. The 7th plane is in the God's world. But But what confuses me is fana happens first, and then fanafila happens next.
Yes.
Nirvana happens first, same words. Nirvana happens, and then nirvikalpa samadhi. That means there is some time, right? With our mind, only time. This happens first, and then second thing happens. That means there is some time, right? But there is no time there in the 7th plane. How does it happen? We don't know.
God's grace.
Probably Baba explained so that we can understand. When actually happens, nirvana, nirvikalpa samadhi happens, probably it's totally different thing than what we understand as human beings.
That's true.
So
it gets complex
on
between
that
6th
note,
and 7th.
On that note, for everybody's benefit, Sunil, anything that you found on ordinary mukti which could benefit everybody, please put it on the discussion group so that we can read those pages or those paras. If they are small enough, just reproduce them there, and then we'll pick it up again.
All right. Okay. I'll do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody have a great week ahead, and thanks for joining, and we'll continue the journey.
Yeah. See, reading only God Speaks is reading God Speaks only about the ordinary mukti is kind of little confusing. That's why a lot of people get confused. But there are other places where Baba talked about ordinary mukti. Lord Meher, what else did I read? Somewhere else I read it. Baba talked about it. That's where we get the clarity. Baba wrote very clearly that ordinary mukti happens without the body and realization happens with the body. Recently I read somewhere.
Yes, you're right.
But they both
God
are
realization
unions.
can happen. God realization can happen only in the body, in the physical body.
Because realizing, right?
OM is after you drop it. Yes. Because you have to experience all three: infinite power, bliss, and knowledge. Whereas ordinary mukti, you get only bliss, and it happens after you drop the body.
Yeah, because I'll tell you one more reason, Karthik. Infinite power, infinite knowledge is only experienced with the body in this creation world.
Yes.
Once you get the God state, there's only, without a second, there's nothing happening in the God state. So there's no power to use. What is going to use the power? What is the use of knowledge? Becomes knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So there is no need for power and knowledge. And what Park says, we have knowledge. Because we have knowledge, we can do anything. That's why we have power. Only in the creation world. God realized people in the creation world experiences infinite knowledge, infinite seventh plane people in the world experiences infinite knowledge and infinite power. Bliss, of course, everybody experiences. Actually, in the beyond state of God, even that is not there. Bliss is not there.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Okay, on that note, let's wrap up. Everybody
Sanjay,
have a
you
great.
no, Sanjay, are you sitting at your place or in Impia?
Mehrabad,
I'm
he's in
sitting at my
Mehrabad.
balcony. Yeah.
Same,
Mehrabad,
same
right?
grill. Same grill as MPR Mama, so you're right.
That's why
Same
I
wall
had
finish. Yeah, the
wall
same
finish.
wall
That's
finish.
why I had a
If you see
confusion.
the if you see
Beautiful,
the wall
beautiful.
finish, it's the same. The wood on the door is exactly the same.
You
So
must come, Mamaji, once.
Yes, yes.
We
So
had Mamaji, we had a great party in Sanjay's house. It was, my God, it was so
yes,
yes,
beautiful. We
I
enjoyed
saw a
thoroughly.
few photographs.
Next time, do join us. Yeah.
So,
yes,
so
Very,
yes,
very
yes.
nice. Thank you, Sanjay. When we thanked you, but thank you. That was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
great
Thank you
party.
again. Thank
Open
you again.
invitation all the years for 30th. Yeah.
Yes. By the way, I booked on your advice and your persistent nudges 2, 3 times, Sanjay ji. I booked now. Now it's up to Baba on the actual logistics and
It will happen.
on
It will
Silence
happen.
Day.
Don't worry.
Yes, Silence
Don't
Day.
worry. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you. Jai Baba.
Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Thank
Jai
you.
Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.